Part of my training program for new chatters is having them shadow existing chatters who are good, who sell every single day, and having them do that for 3 days so they can see what the actual job is like, how much work they're expected to do, how much volume they're expected to send out, and just kind of how the whole thing works, how inflow works, all the technical stuff, because I am not going to cover that with them. And by me assigning a new chatter to a existing chatter, I can increase the existing chatter's level of responsibility for making sure that that person, the new chatter, turns out to be good. We've got this whole like reward system where they get a percentage of sales and all that. However, I've realized that I did not give my existing chatters any guidelines on letting the new people shadow. And in this video, that is exactly what I'm going to do. I've got 5 things here to remember when letting chatters shadow. And really this video is for the chatters that I have who are doing this. This video is for you. I'm making this video for you, and I just happen to be posting it on my YouTube channel because I think it will be useful to agency owners who are interested in training their chatters. Okay, but this is primarily for the people who work for me. So before we get into it, I'm going to give you one quick anecdote about a company that trained me as a salesperson in they had an excellent training program. And I'm going to draw some parallels in between the training that they did for me and what I would like you to do with your chatters who shadow you. So this company that I worked for, they did phone sales. We sold loan modifications, and their training program was a week. And what we did was this. First, they gave us a pitch. And the first thing that we would have to do is we would read the pitch to ourselves quietly. We would do that 10 minutes, just read it over and over, blah, blah, blah. The next thing that we would do is we would get up and we would read the pitch off the paper to everybody in the room. Okay, then we did that. Then the next thing that we would do is we would have to memorize the pitch, and we would have to get up and recite the pitch from memory to everybody in the room. Then what we would do is we would get up and recite the pitch to somebody, and they would be the easiest customer in the world. That's how they would role play, is they would just be like they would just say yes to everything, that type of customer. And then we would do it a couple more times, and every single time they would increase the difficulty of the type of customer that they would be, until by the end of it, we were doing mock role play with the owners about how to do it, how to go through the pitch, so that when we finally got on the phone and we finally started talking to real customers, it was the same as what we had done in role play. Now, as I explained that to you, I realized that my own role play sessions with the new chatters that I have are lacking. And, probably would be better for me to like role play some actual, the full process of chatting with these people. But that's not really something that I can do right now. So I'm dumping the responsibility onto you, my existing chatters, and you are going to have to make it work. However, what I want you to do is I want you to understand the point of that previous, that story that I told. The point of that was that the training itself started out super easy and got progressively more involved and more involved and more involved, got harder and harder. And when you do shadowing, or when you let these guys shadow you, I want you to have the same thought in mind, where on day 1, they're going to do certain things. Day 2, it's going to get a little harder. Day 3, it's going to get a little harder, so that when they finally jump in and they're doing all the work on their own, they will be able to transition smoothly from shadowing you to working on their own account. So the first thing that I want you to remember is that sales need to be made on day. Actually, you know what? We're going to start with a different one. Well, let's start with that one. I already said it. The new chatter needs to make sales on day 1. Absolutely must happen. It can be on their account that I give them, if I give them account at this stage, or it can be on your account. So what do I mean by this? The first day of training, they need to make sales. Why? Because if you bring on a new person, if you bring on a new salesperson, and too much time passes in between when they start and when they sell, then selling is going to just become this like monumental thing that, oh, can I do it? Can I not do it? Am I cut out for this? I'm not sure. I've never tried it. So like they absolutely need to make sales with your supervision on day 1. How would they do this? So let's say you have your accounts, right? You're an existing chatter, you're a manager, whatever. And I assign somebody to you and I say, okay, this person's going to be shadowing you for a few days. What you're going to do is you're going to be in a situation where you're working on the account and you are going to basically go through the entire process with the person shadowing you, and it's going to be interactive. Meaning, let's say you're at the first stage of the sales conversation where like somebody subscribes, you look at their username and their username says hot sauce expert 123. You are going to say to the new guy, to the trainee, you're going to say, okay, this motherfucker's name is hot sauce expert 123. What do you think we should send as an opener? Okay. And you get them to give you a fucking answer, and they're going to come up with something. It might be good. It might be bad. Doesn't matter. Get them to give you an answer. Whatever they say, if it's fucking amazing, you say, that's amazing. Great idea. Boom. You send it. Chances are it's probably not going to be as good as something you would send. So what you want to do is you want to say, okay, well, that's great. We can start with that. You start typing it out. And then you give them some advice on how they would improve that. Okay, whatever. Let's say they say, hey, hot sauce expert, how are you? Shit opener, right? What you would do is you correct them. You say, okay, that's a good start. Not really, but you want to say that anyway. Let's see if we can make it more compelling. Hey, Mr. Hot Sauce Expert, are you more of a Tabasco guy or more of a Cholula guy? Ha, ha, ha. And then the next message is like, I'm personally more of a Tabasco person because I really like the spicy. But actually, and then next message is like, I really prefer the green Tabasco. You fucking go on and on and on in the opener. And which, by the way, is how you should send a personalized opener. Shouldn't be one fucking message. It should be 4 messages that just like make it very clear you're trying to start a conversation with this person, and that you're also interesting when you're speaking to somebody. Like, it's going to be a fun experience when you start out with that opener. Just because they're going to see, they're like, whoa, this person like is fucking weird. Like they're talking all kinds of crazy shit already about hot sauce. So that's what you want to show them. The point is that you want the work to be interactive with you. And this interaction needs to go throughout the entire sales process. They should see every stage of the sales process with your subs. Because on the accounts that you manage, you probably have subs that are regular buyers. You probably have some whales, and you're going to have new subs who aren't any of those things. So you need to, it's not a passive activity is what I'm trying to say. Shadowing you should not be like, okay, sit there and watch your fucking screen while I work. That's not shadowing. Okay. That's why I could send them a video on YouTube and be like, here, watch this. I'm not doing that. I'm having them fucking work with you so that you can interact with them as you train them. So it needs to be done for every part of the sales process. How to send personalized openers, how to qualify. You're going to ask them, okay, what should we say to qualify this guy? They're going to say whatever they say. And then you do the same thing, right? You walk them through it the entire time. How should we sell to this guy? What should we sell him first? How much should we price it? Right? You want them to give you the answer. And if it's wrong, you fucking correct them. Okay. Because what I don't want to see is that when these guys are trained and when they're shadowed and when I ask you about them and you tell me everything's fine, and then I go check their accounts and they're doing everything wrong. Well, why the fuck did I have them shadow you? I could have had them start on the account and have 3 extra days of selling without that. So the point is that the way that they're going to learn is by doing the work themselves and you correcting them at every single stage so that I don't have to do it. That's why I'm paying you. All right. And the point is that sales need to be made on day one. I guess that's not really the point that I just made, but that is also valid. Okay. And when I say sales need to be made on day one, the sales are going to be on your accounts, most likely, right? But what we want is what leads up to the sale to come from them so that they understand that like they had thoughts that were spoken into existence via chat that led to the sub feeling a certain way and clicking yes to unlock content and fucking spend $3, whatever it is. I don't care if he sells for $1. I don't care if obviously like sell the right stuff. Don't go overboard, but like sales need to be done on day one because it will show them that it ain't no thing, that it's easy. Number 2, when letting chatters shadow. And this is something that like I shouldn't have to tell you if you are if I'm letting people shadow you, because this never happens to you anyway, but I'm going to say it. And this is that accounts can never close $0. They can never close 0. This is most applicable if you are running more than one account. So some of you who I allow chatters to shadow are on more than one account. I never want the case to be that that you have two accounts and you spend all your time focusing on one and you completely neglect the other one. If you can't handle two accounts, I will give the other account to somebody else. If you're good and I gave you two accounts, both of those accounts are probably good. I'm not going to have you like work on an account that is closing 0 every day when it could be closing 500 a day. I will give that account to somebody else. And most importantly, the people who shadow you, like you have to understand, you are showing them, you're their first impression on what it's really like to do this job. So they're watching you like a little chicken watches their mother, and they're going to copy everything that you do. If you show them the wrong stuff because you're more experienced or because you're whatever, good at doing it a certain way, that's not what I teach, then you are going to be fucking them over. What you want to do when they're shadowing you is you want to do everything by the book. You want to think to yourself, I need to show this motherfucker the exact, perfect, correct way to do it so that when he goes and he spreads his little chatter wings, he goes, he hits the ground running, and he does everything right because he's just copying me. That's what you need to keep in mind. Which brings me to my next point, which is that you need to show them how hard you work, or you need to show them how hard they are supposed to work. I think this is an issue that I have because, okay, the accounts that the chatters get, they are probably going to be new accounts, okay? They're probably going to be new accounts. They need to be kind of started from scratch. There's not a lot of existing conversations. They really need to get the ball rolling. But when I have them shadow you, you've got a lot of conversations already started. You can just pick up on those conversations and just enter into the middle of the conversation and do a lot of stuff that is going to be different than what they are supposed to do when they're starting new conversations. So I kind of just realized this right now, but what you need to do is you need to show them what it will be like to work on I should actually consider this going into it. Like from now on, when I assign somebody to you to shadow you, I'm going to tell you what account I'm going to give them. And I will tell you also how, like what the status of that account, so that if it's an account, let's say with a lot of spenders on it already, which is probably not going to be the case, but if it is, then I will tell you, okay, this account that I'm going to give them has a lot of spenders. So show them, you can pick up a little bit later. It's going to be less about sending the openers and more about like how to squeeze as much juice from the conversations that are already going. If it's a raw account, if it's brand new, if there's no history on there, then I'm going to tell you, okay, I need you to do a lot of openers. I need you to do a lot of qualifying. I need you to do a lot of commonalities with new subs so that, and most importantly, I need you to show them, like, I need you to work fast. You got to work fast. You got to work hard. You got to get your numbers up. Okay. It's not like this type of thing where you go and you send one message and you talk and blah, blah, blah. And here's this and here's that. And then you send another message. Like, go work, go show them 20 openers, go show them 10 openers, go show them 30 openers, whatever, so that they see it 30 times in a row and they understand, like, okay, this is how you do it. I don't care how fucking dumb you are. If you watch somebody do something 30 times in a row, like, they're going to figure it out. And more importantly, if they see you do 30 openers in fucking 15 minutes, then they're going to understand the pace at which they need to work, which is very important. It's something that I've noticed with new chatters is that, like, their output, it just isn't high enough. It's like, bro, what do you think you're doing? Turning in $100 days, and I see how many people you message. It's 40 people. Like, are you trying to insult me? Like, what the fuck is this? And okay, it's my fault, first of all, for not instructing you on how to properly train them while they shadow you. But it's up to you to show them the speed and intensity with which they are supposed to work. And if I have to give you a new account to fucking show them how to do that, then I will. And maybe, so like what I might do is I might have you both work on the account that they're going to have together. So I think I might be doing this soon because, if you run an account of a girl who's 25 and skinny white girl, and I give them an account of a girl who's fucking 18-year-old Latina with a BBL, who have different backstories and different everything, they're going to run that account differently than how you run it. So what I really need, I'm just kind of talking this out right now. What I really need during the shadowing process is for both of you to work on the new account that they are going to be running, and for you to use your big brain, advanced chatter knowledge and experience to show them how they should be working on that account. I just realized this just now. So good for me, I guess. Okay. And then the last thing is that I want you to get them to think. Okay. Shadowing should be interactive. If you look at the role play sessions that I do, I make these motherfuckers think. They have to think. And no chat GPT. Fuck chat GPT. Motherfucker, I need you to use your Filipino brain and fucking come up with answers and come up with like the answers to the questions that you are going to have to ask yourself a million times a day when you start. How should I open this guy? What's a good opener? How do I qualify them? How do I deepen the qualification? How do I get more information from them? How do I build commonalities with them? What should I send them first to buy? How much should I price it? How do I follow it up? Like all of that. And what I mean by that, I don't want you to just give them the answer. That's not what this is. This is not like when I train them for the first 2 days, it's not me just like training them with videos. Here, watch this, do this, listen, here's the reason. No, I make them go through it and fucking do it on their own. And then I correct the mistakes that they make. They are going to make mistakes, which is why we do the role play. I'm not just like spitting theory at them, hoping that they remember it and then letting them loose. And when they shadow you, you need to do the exact same thing. So you need to ask them, what do you think we should write here? What do you think we should say here? What picture do you think we should send? How much do you think we should price it? Don't let them do the wrong thing. Make them, correct them. Be like, okay, let's say they want to price the first thing at $50. You say, well, you can ask them why. That'd be a great idea. And then they'll give you their answer, which will be wrong and stupid. But you can then tell them, okay, this guy has never bought anything. All right, let's get him conditioned to buying first. And we want to price it at fucking $3.50, whatever. Let's get him to ring the cash register first. Just one example. But the point is that when at any step in the process, you want to turn to the motherfucker that's shadowing you and be like, what do you think we should do? What do you think we should say? And reassure them, because they'll probably be nervous and scared and worried about like making a mistake and looking stupid. You need to reassure them and be like, look, we're not going to yell at you if you get it wrong. But part of this training is that I need you to think on your own, because when you take over the account, I'm not going to be there for you to help you with this, because I have my own accounts that I'm running. Yes, you can help them, but like it's not going to be the same as when they're looking over your shoulder and watching you do all the work yourself. Okay, and then on the last day of shadowing, what I want you to do is I want you to have them actually do the typing and send the messages and fucking click the buttons and do all of that on their own. Before they start, they need to have actually done it. Okay. I don't care if you guys have to figure out the best way to fucking, how to send the message and what to send. You can like help them with everything. I don't care. Don't give them the answer, but you can help them with everything. They need to actually do it. They need to fucking click the right place on inflow. They need to fucking click on the vault. They need to type in the words. They need to do everything, all of it. Okay. I'm not saying they need to work themselves the entire time, but like they need to do it at least a few times so that when they start the next day and they have the account, that they're not overwhelmed. All right. Cause I don't want that. And I think that might be happening with some new chatters. Alrighty. Well, thank you for watching this video. Lovely managers of mine and OnlyFans agency owners who are out there. I'll see you in the next one.